Hello and welcome to the unofficial BSHL Senior Hockey League podcast. I'm your host. I'm your host Corey,
You are.
joined by my co-host Corey.
Did you get our roles confused or something?
Listen, don't make me. Welcome to the unofficial BSHL Senior Hockey League podcast. I'm your co-host Corey, and you're my co-host Corey. That's almost what I said. It wouldn't have made any sense at all.
No sense. You're the better host. I work better as the sidekick. Hell, on my own channel, if I could be the co-host, I'd be the co-host. I'm just better at it.
We had some announcements and lots of fun stuff. Corey, I debuted our new our new, I don't know what the hell to call it. Man, this is going to be an episode, boys and girls.
Our new theme song.
Holy, our new
Theme song.
Theme song. Sure, I like it. How do you like it?
It's metal. You know I love metal. I love it.
It's a little upbeat. It's good. So leave a comment. Let us know what you think of it. I like it. I've went around and listened to a lot of them for a while, and I think that's where we're going to settle. We've
Yep.
got a top 5 this week, Corey. Top 5 jerseys in the BSHL
Yep.
Senior Hockey League.
Top 5 favorite jerseys. Now, this is home or away. We're just mixing them all together. So number 5 to number 1, we'll get that at the end, I do believe.
Yeah, we'll do it a little bit later on. We've got an interview coming up later on in the show with the guy who helped make our hoodies. He's a friend of mine. I'm going to get a little bit of a backstory on his company, talk with him some. Been wanting to get him on for a while, and why not do it in the summer? His name's Scott Parent from Illicit. So he'll be on. We haven't recorded the interview yet, but it'll be at the end of this show.
Yeah, those hoodies were like, if you've seen me at a game, you've seen me wearing that hoodie because it is comfortable. There's a pocket in front. It makes me look thin, which is always a plus for me because thin is something that I am not, unless you're talking about my hairline. Corey, you know a lot about that, right? Hairlines.
You're an asshole.
I know.
Yeah, no, I love Scott's stuff. I love the Illicit merch. So give them a follow on Facebook, Instagram. I think they have a TikTok. They have everything. And go to their site, buy some clothes. They've got some really cool deals coming out. So check them out. We've got some announcements that teams have made this week, Corey. Let's start with that.
Yep.
All right. So we're going to start with the Amherst Senior Hockey Club. The Amherst Hockey Club have announced their general manager, head coach, and both assistant coaches. I think last week when we recorded, we talked about their head coach. We'll go over it all again. So they've announced that their general manager is going to be James Sanford, former Moncton Wildcat, played pro pretty much all over Europe, across the states. A lot of experience. He currently, I think, coaches or manages some AAA minor hockey in Moncton as well. He's a pretty busy guy, but he is hopping back into the league. He did play in the league for a little bit, I think a couple short stints. But huge announcement for Amherst. What are you thinking about that announcement, Corey?
I think it's a plus for them. A good coach. You know, people think it's senior hockey. You don't really need a coach and you just need to go out there and play. No, a good coach really, it gets the cobwebs out of your head sometimes.
GM. He's their GM.
GM, sorry. GM, my apologies. But same thing. You need a good GM.
I mean, it's not easy to get all those guys to commit and then show up. So we'll see how it goes. I think having somebody like Sanford that has a lot of connections, we've heard that a lot from former GM of the Spring Hill Coal Miners / Amherst Hockey Club, Connor. Just the amount of work, and I've heard it from Travis too. The amount of behind the scenes work. Like, these guys aren't taking time off in the summer.
No,
they're knocking on doors, trying to get players to commit, and it's not easy. So welcome James Sanford back to the league. Pretty happy to have him back.
Yeah, I think being a GM in this league sometimes is a thankless job.
Yeah,
because it's not the NHL, it's not the American League, it's not even ECHL. You got so much money you can deal with. What can you offer them? And the money thing, don't even get me started on that. I don't know much about money. I don't have a lot of money. So you don't ask me for money. But one thing that I do know is these guys, like, I feel like it's harder than like in the NHL or something like that, because You got to get guys to commit, like you said. And sometimes, if they say pay me and you're not really worth it, and there are some guys that are really worth it. But then you got some guys that, you're a body on the roster, you're a spot filler. You know,
Yeah, I
you
think
got, you got to make those hard decisions.
you've also got to convince people to leave their families on the weekends and travel and
Hmm.
play hockey. And a lot of guys want to keep playing hockey, but with kids, with everything else, it gets tougher and tougher as time goes on.
Yep,
But it's the job of the GM to try to convince those guys to come and to make it worth their while. And
absolutely.
you know, you always think back to when we were on the ice in River Valley, watching the Dalhousie Marauders hoist that cup. Those guys all sacrificed. Those guys all
Yep,
worked their butts off. Nobody harder than Travis Robichaud,
yep.
and
Travis really.
it's all worth it when you're
Yep.
that champ. It's all worth it.
Yeah, you look at all the staff from the Marauders, from Eric to Jeremy to all these guys that pop off, and all these guys worked so hard to get there. Travis made it happen, but he wasn't alone.
Talking about not being alone, the Marauders have announced the return of head coach Phil Nazaire and assistant coach Mario Cormier.
Yep.
So, why change a good thing?
Hey, they won a championship.
Exactly. Clearly, these guys know what they're doing. I like how Dalhousie's just continuing to roll with what they've got.
If they can continue like last year, be committed like they were last year, there's no way they're not in the finals at least. Like in my opinion, the way they played last year, if they can return same as they were, there's it's hard to say, oh, this team's going to win, because the league is very evenly matched a lot of the nights. But for the Marauders, they're the one team this year that all the players were committed, and you have to look at the staff and you have to look at the coaches and all that it made it worthwhile for these players. They wanted a championship. They wanted to play for this organization.
You look up and down that roster, I think they had something like 15 guys that had more than 15 games played or something.
Exactly.
Unheard of in senior hockey, but the chemistry paid off. And, when you look at the announcements that they've got so far, they've got a big signing using one of their junior A cards. They've got Valikua coming back. They've got Jessica coming back. It's a big year for the Marauders. Clearly, they want to win again. It's going to be interesting to see, but we're happy to see Coach Nazaire and Mario back.
Absolutely.
Other announcements: the Bucktooth JCs have announced the return of Justin LeBlanc, Christopher Shore, and Yannick Bellabo. The JCs are not messing around this year. No. They're coming out with announcements early, 2 or 3 every week. I think we know half of their roster right now, and it's not even July. What does that tell you?
It's funny. It's funny because the Marauders and the JCs are the two teams that have been the most active in June, because we are officially July now, but in June they've been active, and it's almost like I look at Bucktooth, and I've talked with some people from Bucktooth, and the one thing that I keep hearing is, I'm tired of not having a championship. Bucktooth doesn't have a championship. The JCs have never won a title.
The JCs have won titles. They must have.
That, according to people that I've talked to, they haven't won titles.
It's been a long time, Ricky, for sure.
Including Ricky, or if they have one, they
haven't
won.
Ricky says it, I believe Ricky.
Yeah, and it's one of these things where Bucktooth is a proud city, or town, or whatever.
Town.
They want that BSHL Cup. Do I see them beating a team like the Marauders with this roster that they're building? Maybe. You have to see the on ice play, but right now they're not messing around, and that's encouraging. And the one thing that I have to say about that is I hope the fans see this and support them and go to the games.
Absolutely. So for Amherst now, we have the GM and the full coaching staff in place.
Mm-hmm.
So it is James Sanford with Scott Farrell as head coach. Assistant coaches are Sean McManaman and Phil Farrow. McManaman played for the coal miners the last couple of years. Phil Farrow's got a long history in the league. Very talented player. Interesting to see him coach in Amherst, and then Scott Farrell, is you know, he's a player's coach. It should be interesting to see that team on the ice. I want to see them make some player announcements now. I mean,
Yeah.
we know some guys are going to be back. You don't
Yep.
have to think too hard to think Parker Deegan's going to be back. Some of these guys are coming back, you know. But
Duh.
co-owner of the team, I'm thinking he's back.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see these announcements coming from Amherst because who knows what they're going to do. They're shaking it
Yeah.
up. I think they want to make a run for a cup here in the next year or two.
Mhm.
They're not the only team. So,
No.
man, the rumors that I'm hearing this week are just crazy. I've gotten
Yep.
so many messages, seeing people at grocery stores talking to me about it.
Mhm.
Stuff's happening behind the scenes. I can't
Mhm.
wait for announcements to get made. Corey,
Yeah.
how do you feel here? We're July now. We're getting closer to the season. It's
Yeah.
beautiful though, man. What a
Yeah.
wonderful summer so far.
I think so far we've heard announcements from Marauders, JCs, Amers. I think we heard
Northman,
a few from the Northmen.
Northman had some. Yeah.
Other than that, the other teams have been pretty quiet. I really can't wait till we get more announcements as well, because
That's kind of the way the Lumberjacks have always been, the way the Hawks have always been.
Mhm.
And you got to think in the North with the teams merging, there's got to be some behind the scenes stuff that are going on. But
yeah,
I
absolutely.
cannot wait to get more announcements. It's pretty exciting. It's a fun time of year.
Really,
Man, I've been playing some video games, just trying to pass time, and working. I guess. I mean,
yeah,
gotta pay for all of this equipment that we bought. God, you've been working a lot as well. You're back again this week, and
yeah,
then you're off for a bit.
yep.
We've got a wrestling show coming up next weekend. We've
We got
got
a few. We
got
got
a few things
Mythos
going on.
Ragnarok.
Yeah. Pretty excited. Pretty excited. Nice to hang out with you again. It's been a while. And then in
Yeah,
August, man, you know what I always look forward to? Getting out to some Wildcats scrimmages and intra squad
yeah,
games preseason. I don't know
S-
why. Just that first
yeah,
smell of the rink. Love it.
yeah. July usually for me is I don't know why July is like this. Every year. Every year. I don't know if it's because I know I have some time off. I always get nostalgic for old school maritime wrestling.
Yeah.
So today I sent you a bunch of stuff about old school maritime wrestling from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, even the mid to late 2000 old school IHW. I'll just sit there and watch a bunch of that, and just like some of that stuff I wasn't even born for, and I'm like, good old days.
You know what I'm hooked on in the summer? I'm going to be honest with you. I play some video games. I always love playing some video games in the summer when I have a little more time. But I love to read. I'm a huge reader. I
Yeah.
normally read somewhere around 30, 40 books a year. So I'm pretty big reader. Less this last year with the podcast. Things were busy, but since things have slowed down, I've been reading pretty hardcore. Nothing like being by the river
Yeah.
or by the ocean and reading a book. Just freaking love it, man. All the time. So today, Tracy and I were out by the water, at the in Caplimiere at the cottage, just
Oh yeah.
chilling. It was wonderful. That's why I think we're going to play some Cards Against Humanity in a few weeks here. So,
Absolutely.
Corey,
You read 30 to 40 books a year.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I read 40 to 30 to 40 pages a year.
There we go. Attaboy,
Yep.
attaboy. It's because you're too busy researching wrestling stuff.
Where do you think I read?
You know what? I will shout out. Ghislain Mercier is awesome, and he posts a lot of old senior hockey stuff, and he's been posting stuff in that Trackety Alpines group the last couple days. And I highly recommend anybody get over there and check it out because some of the stuff that he's finding is so cool. I would love to have that guy on the podcast sometime.
Yeah.
He's just such. I've met him at a shipping game once, and just such a nice guy. So Ghislain Mercier just posts like the coolest old statistics, and I don't know. He's been very busy in the group the last few days, so yeah, check it out. Check it out for sure. Corey, we've got our
Absolutely.
top 5 now.
Mhm.
We're doing top 5 jerseys. No
Yes.
restrictions, anything from the BSHL, so the last 2 seasons,
Yeah.
home or away.
Yeah. Originally, I had it 2 separate, top 5 home, top 5
Boring.
away. I not only that, there are jerseys that are very plain sometimes, especially the away jerseys is sometimes just the logo with a white jersey.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get this started off. Do you want to go first? You want me to go?
Um, you can go. I've got my 5 in front of me.
All right. So at number 5, I have Trackety's home jersey,
That's the black.
the black, navy blue, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I love the logo. Usually black, flat black doesn't do it for me. This one, I don't think it's black. I think it's more like a dark blue.
Okay.
I don't know. I like it. I like it. It's my number 5.
I feel like it's black, but I'm not sure. My number 5 is the Hawks white jerseys, which I know is not a popular choice to go with a white jersey, but I really love that Hawks white jersey,
Yeah.
even more than their black one. So for me,
Mhm.
number 5 is a Hawks white jersey.
Number 4 for me is Miramichi's home jersey,
The red.
the red one.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Someone said it's just an M in a circle and a red jersey. There's something about it. I really like that jersey. Don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because they made it to the semifinals and we got to not see it as much because the Lumberjacks always wore either red or black, so they stuck with white the entire time. But absence makes the heart grow fonder, and it made it to my number 4.
I really do like the Northman jerseys. They've got some pretty sweet jerseys. My number 4 is the Trackety black.
Yeah.
So whatever, if you think it's navy blue, that's fine. You're colorblind. I think it's black.
Sure.
I'm not sure what it is, but I really do like it. I like the red. It's my favorite color is red. Obviously, it's not something I hide. I'm wearing a red shirt right now. My face
Yeah.
is red because I'm hot. I really like their black jerseys. They're beauties.
Yeah, they're nice. Number 3 for me, similar to you, the Hawks away jersey.
Okay.
It to me, this is a spoiler. It's the best away jersey in the league. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because we've seen it as much as the black jersey. There's just something about that jersey that just screams, give me one.
Number 3 for me is the Dalhousie blue.
Okay.
I love the Dalhousie jerseys. I like the Sweden jerseys in general, so this is definitely a little bit of a throwback to that Sweden jersey.
So the blue is the home jersey.
Yeah. I love it. I love their jerseys.
So sticking with that, my number 2 is Dalhousie's home jersey.
That's funny. So why? What is it about it?
You'll notice number 1 and number 2. It's all about the color. I enjoy a good, bright, colorful jersey. I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan. Always enjoyed the red, white, and le bleu, blanc et rouge. And to me, if you put River Valley and Dalhousie on the ice, my eyes gravitate towards the colors, and just I don't know, it's just nice. The blue and yellow together always just a good fit.
So my number 2 is the Dalhousie yellow.
Okay.
So number 2 and number 3 are both Dalhousie jerseys for me. I just love the yellow and the blue jerseys are beautiful, flashy. They look good. A lot of the Dalhousie guys have like the full kit too, and it looks professional. It looks really good on the ice. Yeah, I don't think one of them has a white helmet. I do not like white helmets. I'm not a fan of the white helmet. I don't know why, it just sticks out weird. But if you're a tough enough guy, wear whatever the hell you want. I'm thinking about God, what's his name for Bucktush that has a white helmet? That's tough as hell. Why is his name blanking from me? Anyway,
did he play this year?
Oh yeah. They've had a few guys that are tough as shit with white helmets. I don't know.
I remember Vautour.
Vautour always had the white helmet. I would not have wanted to mess around with Jamie Vautour.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I really just like the way that Dalhousie has like their full kit a lot, and it's all look really good on the ice.
No, just a shout out to my buddy Charlie.
Yeah.
Who always listens to the podcast. The worst jerseys in the league for him is Dalhousie.
Really?
Because he's like, who the hell do they think they are? Sweden?
I love it.
I love him too.
Charlie's got to settle down. He's too aggressive. Jesus.
He's a hardcore Hawks fan.
Oh, What's your
So
number one jersey in the league?
number one is the JC's home jerseys. My favorite color is green. Um, I just between that and the Dalhousie one, the only reason the JCs are first is because green is my favorite color. Just fantastic, colorful, eye catching, especially with Colette and Net and that beautiful helmet he had
And the
this
gear, those
season.
pads are
The
beautiful
gear,
too.
just
Yeah.
just I just love the color green, and none of my like major sports team were green. Like of my favorites, like Montreal, red, white, and blue. The Minnesota Vikings, it's purple and white. The Golden State Warriors, it's like blue and yellow. Um, Blue Jays, none of my teams have green, so green is my favorite color. So the JCs get my top spot.
A couple former Hawks fans here. My favorite is the gray former JC's jersey.
Yeah,
I love that gray jersey. I don't know why. It looked so, just something about it.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan. I miss it, frankly. I do like their white jersey. Their white jersey looks really good. It's nice. But the gray jersey was unique. It was different.
Yep.
And,
I think that reason right there, you said it was unique. When I saw the white jersey, I was like, it's okay.
It's a beautiful jersey.
Grays.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, cool." But then I went back and looked, and even today, I was looking through some old pictures to try to make sure that I was making the right choices. The JC's gray. I had to scroll way back to find it. Yeah, but man, I'm a big fan of that jersey.
I think the reason they changed the jerseys this year is because the first year that I saw them anyway, they were the Dodge Ram JCs, and I think Dodge Ram isn't with them anymore.
Yeah, it's not their title sponsor or whatever.
So now they're just the Bucktouche JCs, or as Joel would have said, the Bucktouche
JC's Dodge Ram. Yeah, he can never get it. We're gonna go off topic, but also not really that off topic. Man, Nashville made a splash today in the free agency market.
Crazy.
Holy. Who saw that coming?
Marchessault and Stamkos, I can't believe it. The two rumors that I had heard from Montreal was they were going to make a pitch for Patrick Kane. He signed with Detroit. And they were going to make a pitch for Steven Stamkos going to Nashville. So Montreal, their biggest splash is trading away Jonathan Kovacevic for, I think, a 4th-round pick and re-signing Juraj Slafkovsky to an 8-year contract. I believe it was at 7.6.
Yeah, 7.6 AAV. That's a big signing. Slafkovsky has not let anybody down.
No. What's funny is a buddy of mine, Jake Murphy, love him to death, great guy, Carolina Hurricanes fan. He texted me just before we started. He's like, "That is laughable." I'm like, "No, it's not." And it went from sort of argumentative to basically, man, why are they making that much money? Like, they make so much money, they'll never be able to spend that much money in their lifetime. Like, you look at someone like Connor McDavid or Austin Matthews that make, $13 or $14 million a year. A year? That's crazy. Give me a league minimum and I'm set for life.
I mean, yes, I agree with you, but they also make the league an awful lot of money.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of money coming in. The money's got to go out, and these guys have short careers, so they deserve it, I suppose. But yeah, the salaries are crazy. But yeah, man, good signing by the Habs. I'm glad they signed Slafkovsky. I think signing him to a long-term deal now, while he's still, going to be a better player in the future, I think it's an economical signing. Hopefully he doesn't just coast.
Yeah. What about the draft pick that they had? Ivan Demidov.
Yeah.
I screamed like a little girl.
I mean, a little controversial, though. A lot of people didn't think they were going to pick a Russian. I think it's the right choice. I think it's just what the Habs need.
I had Demidov going to Chicago at number 2. And then they picked the other Russian guy. And then when Anaheim picked Seneca, I was like, so Montreal could either have Lindstrom or Demidov. And I texted my cousin Dan. My cousin Dan's a huge Montreal Canadiens fan too. A huge Alex Pereira fan, and he was over the moon with that knockout on Saturday night. But anyway, I texted my cousin. I'm like, that Ivan Demidov is still there. He's like, shut up, man. It's not going to happen. Shut the F up. Just stop dreaming. And then Lindstrom went to Columbus. And I was like, holy crap, the Russian dude's still there. And they're not. He's like, they're not going to take. He's like, with our luck, they're going to take a defenseman.
That's the thing. That's the thing that I was feeling too. I'm like, man, they always like make the controversial pick.
Yeah, remember
But
Jesperi Kotkaniemi? I mean,
oh,
what a fart in church that was.
there's been some. Remember when they didn't take Wright? My God,
Yeah,
what a
well,
controversial pick that was.
that was the right choice, though. Wright is the drizzling.
I mean, I agree with you. It was the right choice, but in the moment, whew, not popular. But yeah, interesting free agent day one. Should be an interesting off season leading into hopefully another good season. This last season of the NHL was fantastic. Great
It was.
playoffs. No complaints from me. I mean, Montreal was rough, but
They,
that's
they
okay.
they they took a step forward.
Yep.
Here's the thing. It was a great season, but I missed a lot of it because I was busy with this other league that's taken over my time. That I feel has been even better than the NHL.
Yeah, something
My,
about live sports, eh?
yeah,
It's a lot more fun. Corey, I think that's all we've got. Got the interview with Scott coming up, so we're gonna get to that. Thanks for being here, and we might be here next week. We're not sure. We're not sure if the ladies are going to do their takeover next week. It's coming up though,
maybe
so
it's coming up.
keep an eye out for that. All right, thanks, Corey. Talk to you soon.
Take care.
I'm joined by a special guest today. He's a good friend of mine. We did a clothing run in December, I want to say November, December, and he was the guy that I went to immediately because I knew I could trust him. He's a good guy, and he's got a lot of high quality products. So his name's Scott Parent. Scott, tell me a bit about yourself, buddy.
All right. So my name is Scott Parent. I met Corey when we were still both working at Shanix together, working as a nursing aide or whatever.
Yeah, we were almost night shift partners for a while there.
Yeah. It was good. It was a nice little bromance right from the start. And yeah, I don't know. So I got to enjoy and appreciate your company for those few years till I decided to run. But
and break my heart.
Yeah. Quick Insta bio. I'm kind of a weeb. I like gaming. I like most sports. I can talk shit about sports.
You're a huge soccer guy. Football.
Yeah, a little bit.
You're from Grand Falls, New Brunswick.
Grand Falls, New Brunswick. That's right. Yes.
Attaboy.
Born and raised.
Born and raised. Now you're in Fredericton. We met when you were in Moncton. So Illicit. I want to get into some of the roots of Illicit, but I remember going to breakfast with you at Steve's Diner in Riverview, and you were talking to me about this dream that you had that you wanted to start a clothing line. Why a clothing line? Let's start there.
I mean, that's fairly simple. So me and a few of my buddies, we didn't have like this grand dream about like starting this. Like we legit just wanted to be able to rock like cool merch with like funny or like dumb like designs on, and like mostly like related to like car culture. And most of like the brands that people would associate with that sort of stuff, their merch were just slightly overpriced. And we were like, well, I wonder if we could do that just for ourselves, right? Like just design our own shit, design our own stuff, and just wear it for us. Well, we started like just looking into the process of like trying to get like print shop to print stuff for us, and no one wanted to print anything below like a certain like quantity, like basically like maybe a couple dozen runs of a certain design. And we're like, okay, well that's kind of ridiculous. And also like what some of the print shops in this would have been in Moncton, what they were like quoting, we're like, no. And then I started calling around different print shops around New Brunswick, because I like that shit. I'm whatever. So I was like, oh fuck it, this is a challenge. Let's see if I can source this. Couldn't. Like it was just ridiculous. I was like, okay, well, if I can even get a shop to agree to print like maybe like a dozen, we'd be looking at like what, like $20 a piece, and we're like we were like four guys. We were like literally just wanting like shit for us. We're like, this is dumb, so whatever. So we started like looking into like, I wonder how hard it is to like make our own stuff. And then I'm like full on like ADHD, so like I I was like, I looked into it and I saw what equipment you needed for like to do it like in the most basic way. And then I was like, yeah, fuck it. So me and these guys, we just invested into buying this equipment, and then we had spent all of this money, but like we were still like just doing it for us. But because we started like wearing it around, like some of like our mutuals were like, "Hey, could you guys make some for us?" And we're like, "Yeah, yeah, all right, cool." And then that's literally how it started. Like we didn't have like any like ambition of like starting a business. It was purely to do this for us because we want to be able to do something affordable. And then we realized, hey, okay, we can't actually get a shop to do it, so let's do it ourselves. So instead of like paying the $20 per for however many T-shirts, we end up like spending thousands of dollars to get set up into. Like, yeah.
To make 10,
Where's the
yes.
logic? Yeah.
Yeah, the logic was missing. So when we went to breakfast, we talked. You were already doing some of it for yourself, and at that point, you were thinking about like ramping it up here.
Yeah, it was basically like at that point, like we were like we had started doing stuff for like our local pals in Fredericton.
Okay.
And yeah, like, and then like that's where like people kept asking, and because we could we found our niche. Like we found like the same crowd of people, like people that still wanted to have like some of this cool shit, but they couldn't justify like spending, I don't know, like $40 or whatever for a t-shirt. And yeah. And then it was like, yeah, that morning, like we were like debating, like, well, should we actually start doing this? And like, how would we like go about like actually selling this? And like, would we actually go to car shows to do this, or like? So yeah, that's basically like when I was talking about it that morning.
So
which I still remember.
Man, yeah. So you start doing it, you jump in, and you're not a dude who like jumps half in. You're just, it's not you. You jump fully in, and you start going to car shows. Talk to me about that. The transition from just doing it for your friends to actually having to mass produce some of this stuff.
So yeah, so I was still going to these car shows, but I wasn't going to like every one of them. I would go to like the big ones, like I would go to like a Speed Sport, and I would go to Nationals, and sometimes I would go to like a Slam Jam, but
mostly Moncton stuff.
Yeah, mainly Moncton stuff. But once we like sort of like started like getting into this, we're like, okay, well, we need to start going to all of these events, not like as a vendor just yet, but we started going, and like the first show was actually like at Speed Sport. One of my buddies entered his car, and we had put a decal, a banner on his car with the brand name, and he had won like this award, and like that sort of like galvanized us or whatever. But like it gave us also like a hint of like what we were going to experience, because like immediately, like we still remember, like we started like getting shit on like right away, and we heard like people like making fun of like the brand name. They started like making fun of us, and we're like, huh. I mean, all right, cool. But yeah, and then after that, like so, like for the first, so that would have been like the first show. That would have been in April, and then after that, we were like, okay, fuck it. Like, there's an upcoming show in PEI, and it's relatively known, or so we thought. And then we were like, well, this is like the easiest. This is the easiest route to dip our toes because cost wise for like a vendor, like I don't think the organizer charged us because there weren't like that many vendors, and it was like mostly geared towards like classic cars. Like there were like tuners and whatever, but like mainly like classics. So like I think the organizer just wanted like to appeal to like a different crowd and like, oh well, these guys are tuners, so okay. So yeah, so that would have been in May of 2019, and yeah, fuck, we went to this show with I forget like 200 shirts. We It had cost us like about like I don't know like 600, 600 or 800, and like our goal was to like basically break even, and we struggled to do that. I mean, we did like eventually reach that, but like that was it. Like I think like we basically just broke even, but because of that, like planted the seed.
Yeah.
And then because of that, like we ended up like meeting some of our like long time like influencers or like some of our pals that like started repping us and have been really good for us. So yeah, so that first show in May of 2019 was like it, and after that we were like, huh, okay, maybe we can do this.
So after that, you would have done nationals in Moncton, I suppose. That's in like
No,
July. He's like, no.
No, not a chance. No, we so we went to nationals. We like I said, like we kept going to shows because so it was partly because like we wanted to go to our shows, but also like it was to like sort of like scout, sort of like get an idea of like don't go to just car shows to like obviously just like walk around, like look at cars and whatever. Like go around, see like what people are wearing, see what people are buying from vendors, and scout like how vendors are setting up their booths, scout how people or whatever, and yeah. So we would have done nationals, and then after that, it 2019. Like I think we only did 3 shows. Oh man, that flies. I forget if roll call Complex Union's show started in 2019. I think that one might have only started in 2020. But we only did like 1 or 2 shows, and yeah, I think we possibly only just did like that first show at BI, and then like we would have done like the Stancy's Slam Jam in August or September, whatever it was.
Okay.
And yeah, like that was like that was like basically like another event that like helped to galvanize us, because we went from that PEI show where we struggled to make the $600 or $800 to break even, and then we went to Stancy's and we I forget how much we made. I think it was like 2,500 or something, and that like blew our minds. Like what? And then
you guys almost sold out that show. I remember that. You guys like
no, we did sell it. So we still did like decals. and
Yep.
banners like in like a very like basic way, and basically like the equipment that like a cricket mom would use or whatever like that. That was like how we were doing shit, and I still have it. Like we don't
Yep.
use it, but yeah, like at one point, like we sold out of banners, and I went back home, and me, my fiance, and a buddy of mine, like we were like scrambling to like make more, and then I went back to the Coliseum, and we sold out again. We're like, what's going on here? So yeah.
And
But yeah,
then
like that was like, okay, I don't know, like this is interesting. I was like, all right, cool.
that's your 2019. 2020 comes around, COVID happens, and I remember you were pretty crushed by it. But as a new business, it was hard. But there were
Yeah.
still some car shows because New Brunswick wasn't hit terribly badly, and there was some outdoor stuff, right?
Yeah. So there was I think that year was, I'd have to look it up. I think like that might have been like the first year that Roll Call had a show, and then uh I think Speed Sport hadn't taken a chance um because of the organizers and the main demographic that they appeal
Yep.
to, and because like this would have been late April.
Yeah,
It
so
was
it was
like when
close.
things sort of started getting whatever, and so they didn't take a chance. But I think Complex did, and then we, I think we would have like done all right there, and then uh, yeah, I think that might have been like the only show. I'm not even sure if like Stancy's did an event. I'd have to
And
like,
where's Complex Union? That's St. John.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So they've yeah always been in St. John,
Yeah.
and
Okay. So they
mainly
do it
at
at the Harbor
the
Station or whatever that's called, TD Station.
TV station now. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
know. I still get that all fucked up. That's what happens. We're old.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
So 2021, that's when you really start to see the uptick. Talk to me about how quick you guys rose and what made it happen. I mean, now you guys go to car shows. I mean, you were talking to me about your schedule the next few weeks, which is insane. Talk to me about that.
So yeah. So basically, like that first year would have like almost done like nothing, like event wise and whatever. And then the second year was like more or less the same, but like we were like, okay, well, let's try to go to more events, and like and then there were more like people like weren't as concerned, or because the COVID vaccine or whatever, like there were some, basically you were allowed to host events if like you made sure that people that came in like were vaccinated and all that dumb shit. So
Yep.
and some of these organizers were like, all right, fuck it, we'll take these steps. And then yeah, we started going to events, and uh it was like fairly slow. Like the first few years were like slow. So not only were we limited by the bankroll, because we were literally like just like funding it ourselves,
Yep.
and to basically like get started uh, at the start of the season, like it was like, all right, well, I guess like we have to like fucking pool our money and like try to get like a couple $1,000 worth of like merch or whatever. So it was like kind of hard, and then like there were like vendor fees, mind you, because of the pandemic and because so few people were willing to like travel and whatever. A lot of these organizers like cut us a break, and like they give us like a discount or whatever. So that was like, it helped us as like a startup, and yeah, like we attempted to hit like the major shows, and then it, yeah, so 2021 would have like still been like, I think we would have only done like three, but then I moved back to Fredericton. We moved to be closer to the rest of the guys that are in Illicit. uh, except like one, and then just to like facilitate like production and being able to like actually meet up, because like before what we were doing, the guys would travel from Fredericton like once or twice a month, and they would come to Moncton, and they would help with like production, or they would like just whatever. But it was hard to like brainstorm just through like chat, and so us moving back in 2021 was like what like really cemented this, because I would have moved like in fall of 2021, and that's when me and my business partner Josh, we like in that December we decided, hey, like next year are we going for this? And then we're like, yeah. And then we're like, all right, fuck it. So we got a personal loan, and we were like, okay, well, let's try to hit up like, let's focus on like the major shows in the Maritimes, and fuck it, let's add 2 shows that are outside of the Maritimes. So we added one that was in Toronto, then we added one that was in Montreal, and like that year, the 6 shows, like that was like it's crazy, and like just like locally, like people were like, holy fuck, like Illicit are like traveling to going to shows, and like it for us, we sort of like took it for granted, because we're like, oh yeah, we're just traveling, whatever. But like, I think like what people were like more like not amazed, but like surprised, was seeing a local group, actually be willing to like uh take a chance, I guess, or like actually like just step out of like your comfort zone, and yeah, like so that was cool. Like so that year, not only did we experience a lot, because we got to see like these upper tier like events and travel and meet people, but also locally it helped um not solidify, but like it definitely like helped people like it legitimized us, and that more or less that's what happened locally. And then people like started like following us more, and then people like started like wanting to rep us, and because they were like, oh, it's not like some bullshit group. Like these guys are sort of legit. Like they're actually like trying to do it and whatever. So 2022 was like where we like took that first step, like the 6 events, and then last year 2023 is like when we were like, fuck it, like we did 6, so might as well like do like times 3, and then yeah. Anyway.
So last year, where did you do shows?
Okay, so last year we were very ambitious. We had taken out a business loan, because we were like trying to like take that next step, and we did events in Alberta, in Ontario, and then the Maritimes. We ended up doing, was it 4 or 5 in Alberta? Like yeah. I think it was like a couple in Calgary, or a few in Calgary, and then like a couple in Edmonton, and then we did, I think it was 7 in Ontario.
What's that experience like, going to Calgary and chasing the dream, really, for you guys?
It was cool. Like, so there was like a lot of like what's that expression? Imposter syndrome. Like, okay. So because like we took this risk, we spent all this money to get like set up and like have a crew out in Alberta be able to like run our booth, but because this was our first time, we actually like wanted to go out.
Yeah.
So the first show in Alberta was in Calgary, and originally I'm from here, but like I lived out in Calgary, so like to have an opportunity to go back, like I was like, fuck yes, like let's do this. And then like some of the other like core members, like they had never like traveled that far or whatever, so they were also keen. And I think we went out for like 5 days, and that was just I don't know. It was just it's such an awesome experience because we went for so long. We ended up meeting and socializing, networking with like some very established groups or businesses, and like we were like invited to like go to for a tour of Infamous. So Infamous are like this company that like they make like aero parts. So like they'll make like spoilers, they'll make lips, they'll make side skirts, they'll make whatever, and body kits. And we had been able to arrange a collaboration with them because of like us going to Toronto the year prior, and we had met them there. Like they had agreed to do a collaboration, and yeah, so we went there. They gave us a tour of the shop. That was wild because like some of the cars that they had in there were like crazy tuner cars and just expensive high end cars, and like we're like just dudes from like relatively like modest like backgrounds from New Brunswick, and having like actually taken that step, flown to Alberta, and actually like get to be able to like visit it was cool. It was pretty wild. But
sounds a little surreal.
It was like there's like multiple moments during the Alberta or the Calgary trip where like we're like, holy shit, like this like we're out here because of this. Like that's kind of crazy. And yeah, so like we not only did we do that, but like we got to meet like some of these like very huge brands, not just in Canada, but like North America and basically like the world. And like just like shooting the shit with them, and some of them like being like pretty modest, like considering that like they do like probably like 6 figures just in online sales like a year, and then that's not like all of the money they make from all of the shows that they go to in North America. So that was cool. And then the fact that we had like some downtime because we had like allowed ourselves to go for like so long. I made sure to bring them, like the rest of the guys, to the Rockies. Like we went to Banff, and yeah, like being able to like experience that with these guys was like pretty cool. And like I always like loved it when I was out there, but like actually like going back, being like slightly older, and then like going back with like these people that like had never seen this, like it was like a really dope experience. So like it not only going to like a big show, that would have been driven Calgary, but like getting to experience all of this other stuff, it definitely was surreal.
So now you're kind of solidified. End of 2023, you guys actually have a business. You've achieved a lot of those dreams. Over the winter, you didn't like slow down or do anything small. What did you get shipped over the course of the last winter?
What?
What did you get shipped over?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That. Yeah. So
because I mean, branding is everything with what you do. So
yeah. So
what did the business buy?
So we last or 2023, like we or like 2022, and then like starting of 2023, like our only like means of like being able to like get to these events was to rent the U-Haul. All right, that's fine, whatever. But because of like everything that was going on with the pandemic and whatever, like it just seemed like the fees and the rates like kept going up, and like the fact that like we had the ambition to go to so many events, the idea of like dropping like $1,000 on a rental, like multiple times a month, it didn't compute with us. So we were like, hey, we are doing okay. We have these plans of like being able to travel more and possibly travel to the US and whatever. So how about we import like a merch vehicle, like something that will be like very different, no one else will have, and that we can use to to travel around.
Because normal people would be like, yo, let's get a Ford van and let's just use that dollar stuff. That's what people would expect you to do. But this is why I love you, brother. This is why I love you. What did you import?
So we did like look into that, but the thing was like so many of like the domestic like cargo vans or whatever, like they're not reliable and like they're fugly as hell.
they're not pretty.
No, and the only ones that we could have afforded, because like even like the ones that are like in decent shape, were going for like whatever 10K plus, and they were decent, but not really. Like we would have still had to put money, and then the reliability issue was whatever. So, me and the guys started like looking at import sites, and we had been doing that like since we met in 2017. But like that was like basically like daydreaming, and like that was like what we would get for like our own personal vehicles and whatever. But then we started looking at like what was out there and like what looked different or what looked cool, and we ended up settling on, it's called a Toyota Alphard, and it's like more or less like similar to like a Sienna, but like it's something that we would have like never had in North America. And for whatever reason, like these, not all of them, but like some trims, they ended up coming with a body kit. Why? I don't know, just JDM things. And it looks kind of aggressive. It looks kind of cool. So so that was the plan. Last year we decided, hey, let's import this vehicle and whatever. The issue is, or like like the unfortunate situation that we ended up being in was because of the backlog, because of the pandemic. Priority was given to dealerships all across North America.
Yep.
And the I think like about 400 cars fit on one cargo ship, and I think they were allotting like 5% of the capacity to like auction cars or like personal sales, I guess. Everything else was like just for dealerships. So we would have like bought this van in February of last year.
Yeah.
And our plan of like being able to save money and whatever, it didn't work out because we only actually received the van like late October, like last week of October. And so we actually didn't even get to use it once for an event last year. I was like, But we have had it this year. It's my personal vehicle, and we actually like we've gone. I don't even know how many shows we've already done so far. It's crazy. The year is just flying.
So if you're listening to this on YouTube, you can check the video right now, and I'll drop a picture of it right now because it's pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie to you; it's pretty wicked. Yeah. It catches, it turns heads.
Well, that, and I just ordered the wheels from Japan. They're supposed to arrive next week, and I have like the money set aside for wrap, but like I I usually like make fun of customers because like I also like rap on the side. Like when I like sort of like make fun of like customers, like when like they're so undecisive, like I'm in that situation because like I've been like ready to like pull the trigger for like the past few weeks, and I can't settle on the color. But in the next few weeks, it's going to be loud. It's going to be like a way different color, and it's gonna stand out more so than it already does. But yeah,
I love it.
yeah,
You guys are a little out of the box.
yeah.
What
More so me than whatever. But yeah, yes.
you're saying? Josh is a little more chill than you are.
I mean, yes, but then he like just like wrapped his car is like full branding and like it's like this like full like almost like a race car livery. Like he also has a JDM vehicle. He imported a Lexus like a year prior, so like 2022, and yeah, he basically did like almost like a full like race car like livery, and it's like full like Illicit branding and whatever. And so his is not subtle, but like I feel like mine like with the wheels and with the wrap and the dumb shit that I want to do with because I'm getting underglow. Like that's happening. And
How have you never shown me Fauché's car? I haven't seen this wrap before.
well, he just like finished it like maybe a few weeks ago. So like this is relative.
I can't wait to see it. That's awesome, dude. So share your favorite story from all these trips, all these car shows. I gave you some time to think about it. Hopefully, you came up with a good one that's semi PG. And
no, I didn't think of like the one I have. I can't talk about that. No, I think I don't know. Like it would have to like be like split up into like different like what like emotions or whatever. Like I said, like Calgary, that was such like an amazing trip because I don't know, like well, first of all, it was bar stuck, and like just to figure out like the logistics of that because we had to like ship out like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds of like fucking merch, and then actually going there and we did well, and like we were like unknowns and we did well, and like I was like, huh, well, that's kind of cool. That was cool. The year prior when we went to we would have like done the two shows outside of the Maritime, so we would have done Toronto and then we would have done Montreal. The Montreal trip was so fun because that was like the year that we like started like trying to expand, but also trying to get out of our comfort zone and try to bring in more people to help us and whatever. Because like before, like we wanted to keep it like amongst the four of us, but logistically and effort wise and financially, like so maybe not like at that point, but like prior, like I said, we had been like just funding this like ourselves with just four of us, it was like tough, right? But mainly it was like the effort and like production and whatever, and running the booths at shows. So we started bringing in more people, and for that Montreal show, we had 3 new members, and that was like so fun. Plus, like it was Montreal, and like I think we were there for 4 days, and yeah, it was fun.
What does the future hold for Illicit?
I think our focus now, it's kind of split. So we are still doing the brand and like working on like building the brand, building up the brand, and still going to car shows, but like you alluded to at the start of this, like with us, like making like your merch, we have like been diving deeper into trying to produce for local businesses, clubs, businesses, just other brands, and try on that because some of those like contracts or like some of those jobs are like relatively like or can be lucrative. Like they're all like logistically, like some of them are like a nightmare because like when you're like thinking of like hundreds and like I don't know like 300, 400, 500 plus pieces, uh it's well you have to source that and then you actually have to like print it. You actually have to make it, and but like that is what would allow us to like keep evolving, keep expanding, and yeah, like that is basically like our focus. Like we don't want to like give up like the whole like brand that we have built because obviously we love it and we love going to these events and we have like a very loyal following.
Yeah.
And like now that like we've stepped up, like how often like we come up with new stuff and whatever, like some of these supporters like they keep looking forward to us like coming out with new shit. So yeah, we would never like want to like give that up. But we also want to like be able to like focus on doing this. Like, you know, like basically like have the brand, but then also have like the print shop side of it, right? So yeah, I think that's basically like what I would say like our focus for the future would be.
So you guys are located in Fredericton, New Brunswick. If somebody's listening to this and they want to get something printed by you guys, they want to reach out and talk about making a deal, how can they do that?
Easiest way would just be to contact us through Instagram. So on Instagram, our tag is just illicit. So just send us a DM. We also have a Facebook page. We have our online store. You could basically contact us through that as well. The website is justillicit.com. And yeah, basically like you do that. If you like type in illicit in Instagram, like you'll be able to like either find the brand page or like either me, Josh, or like some of our other members. There's definitely ways that you can like reach us, and then then we'll be able to help you out.
Where else can people where can people buy your merch
Uh,
in the next month or two?
well, so we have the online store, like I said. We're trying to keep that updated, like as much as we can, because we're like doing so much traveling, whatever. Like we noticed like recently that we have been like lapsing on that, like just like to keep like the new merch on it. But now that we have that sorted, the online store is one. Going to any of the big car shows in the Maritimes, that's another one.
Yep.
And if you are located in the Fredericton region, we are in a retail space. It's called the Scrub Plus.
Okay.
And it's a friend of ours that is the owner, and he's all about like supporting local. And he just recently brought in Country Liberty, and then because he knew us and whatever, he was like, "Hey, like, would you guys be interested in having your some of your merch in a retail space?" And we're like, "Okay, yeah, that would work." So so if you're local to Fredericton or you happen to like travel to the Fredericton region, go to the Region Mall, go to Scrub Plus, and you can buy some there.
Right on. All right, Scott. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for doing this. And just illicit. I'm sure we're probably gonna do another merch run. So keep an eye out. We'll be around.
All right.
Thanks, Scott.
All right.
Take care.
All right. Appreciate this. All right.
Later, brother.